Hi guys, my name is Nefe and I'm part of the business operations team at Paystack. So welcome to this very exciting webinar where we're going to explore the tactics to drive up your Instagram and online sales. We'll start very shortly, but first, I'll introduce you to our amazing speaker and the agenda. But in the meantime, I really just want to get to know those of you on the call. And please, in the chat, just tell me what you do. Do you sell your products on Instagram? What type of products do you sell? So I'll give it a few seconds for people to just update the chats. So I can say hi to folks. I'm seeing some of my faves on here. Lovely to see you guys. Hi, Usman. Okay, I can see. Hello. Does no one want to tell me what products they sell on Instagram? Do you know what we need to buy? I do have financial goals to not spend money. So if that's what you guys are doing, then by all means. But if not, it'll be great to see. Hi, Wura. Yes, cocktails. It's called Limehouse. Check them out. They're very sweet, very powerful. Okay. Everyone else, feel free to share what products you sell online. If you do it on Instagram or anything, it's a good time for you guys to connect with each other as well, not just me. But yeah, before we get started, final thing before we get started, because I'm sure you're all very eager, I just want you to note a few things. So you can send in questions through the questions tab. It's at the bottom of the screen. So if you have other comments, you can put them in the chat, but make sure you use the questions tab because it allows us to answer them directly. And there are a couple of funky things that this app allows us to. But yeah, so we'll have someone answering them maybe on the chat, but then after our conversation with Doyin, we'll be able to answer some of them live. So yeah, bottom right, questions tab if you have any questions. Okay, so let's dive in. Our speaker of the day is the one, the only, the fabulous Adedoyin Somuyiwa. Yay! Doyin, please tell the people what you do.
Hi everyone, my name is Adedoyin Somuyiwa and I'm the founder and creative director of RAENNA, popularly known as Shop RAENNA. Thank you for having me, Nefe.
Amazing. You know me, I'm a big fan and I may or may not have forced you to be here, but no, please, she came willingly. I did not force her casual. But yeah, I'm a big Shop RAENNA fan and I'm a RAENNA girl, as they say, and I'm just very excited to be able to chat with you today and for a lot of our business owners here to just learn a lot about your sales. So let's dive right in. Can you tell us a little bit about RAENNA? What's the story behind how you started crafting and selling jewelry?
So I actually started selling jewelry in the university. Honestly, I just needed some extra cash. And yes, I got an opportunity to buy from someone else. And then I would go from room to room in my hostel and knock on the door and say, oh, hi, I sell jewelry. I know I was a really shy person, but I made it work because honestly, money is important. So yeah, that was how RAENNA started. And then after the university, I worked in a company for a while, but then I was like, is this what I want to do? I was like, why don't I just focus on my business instead? I'm very, very passionate about what I do. And I think I'm very good at it as well. So for me, it just made a lot of sense, honestly. I've always loved jewelry and I was introduced to jewelry at a very young age by my grandmother. She was a massive collector, she had a whole box of jewelry, and I think that kind of just exposed me to a particular style very early in life. And so I think my grandma has actually been my greatest inspiration in terms of, the kind of jewelry that I make, the kind of jewelry that I sell. And yeah, that's how it started.
Oh, that's lovely. I love the personal touch to that as well. So what I'm hearing is find something you're passionate about It's okay if money is the motivation at the beginning, but I guess if you're passionate, like the uniqueness comes out, and don't let your personality, i.e., being shy, stop you. You know, if you're good at it, that comes through. Fantastic. So let's talk about Instagram a little bit now. You have a very beautiful Instagram feed. I don't know how you do it. Like mine is just pure chaos, and I go on the RAENNA page, and it is curated to a T. So, how do you go about curating that to attract your target audience?
Honestly, I think the number one thing for me is to plan ahead. It's easier to stay consistent when you plan ahead. And I'm also very obsessed with how things look. I like things to look super clean and in a particular manner. So we never post just anything. Let's believe anything we post has been planned. And I mean, a lot of people have said that the way your Instagram looks doesn't necessarily contribute to your bottom line, but I actually disagree. I think that the way our Instagram looks has been a great asset in terms of like making sales, getting people on board. Everyone loves Raina first, because we have nice content, and I don't think that's a bad thing at all. So yeah, plan ahead.
Amazing. So plan
Also,
ahead.
yes, invest in taking nice pictures. If you have to pay for it, honestly, do so.
Amazing, amazing. When you say plan ahead, out of curiosity, so if you're, how far in advance do you plan your posts?
So I would say we plan weekly.
Okay.
Yes, and we use apps like to plan our feed ahead, so we know exactly what it looks like. And honestly, we also have a Finsta that we use to post stuff to see, because on apps like you can actually have your reels on there, just photos. So sometimes I feel like it doesn't give us the complete picture of what the feed is going to look like. So I think having a Finsta actually really helps.
Awesome. So that's very good for, I guess, attracting audience. And like you said, people have to like what they see, and it's contributing to your bottom line. Are there any other best practices that you've learned around engaging with your audience beyond, I guess, attracting them first with the beautiful aesthetic?
Honestly, I would say something that has really helped us is that we actually care about our customers. I think that's super important, honestly, like to just care about people. We're very empathetic and we're nice. And I had $1 for the number of times that people have said, oh my God, you have such great customer service. Wow, I love buying from this brand. And that's because we're actually so nice and so helpful. And I find that because I'm also a consumer, right? And I find that a lot of brands that I engage with, they're just not nice. Like, it's almost like they don't really care about you as a customer. They just want to make some sales, right? But I feel like going the extra mile, asking them questions, all those things actually really, really help. And I think that our community loves us for it.
Yeah, as a member of the community, I concur. No, as a consumer myself, I completely agree. Like niceness honestly brings me back. I know, like when it comes to if you're abroad, like sometimes people say, oh, like when you go to food sellers, the ruder they are, the sweeter the food is. But I'm like, doesn't apply to online sales. I can tell you that for sure. Okay, let's pivot slightly. As you know, I work at Paystack. Payments is our bread and butter. Can you tell us a little bit about your payments experience when you first launched? And if you can, give us an overview of the customer journey as well, that would be good.
So I would say when we first started, the journey, so from customer to actually delivery, is people send messages via DM to say, oh, hi, I'm interested in this piece. How much is it? Okay, how do I pay? There's the back and forth that happens in the DMs. and that's how we used to sell to customers. And also, I would say that, I mean, bank transfers, that's the way. People would just send their account number to customers and then they would send the money. However, we got scammed a few times. People would say, oh, I sent the money, but then we'll find out that the money wasn't actually sent. And I think because we're also a very, as I said, customers are very important to us. So sometimes it's just like, oh yeah, we've received the payment, or like, let's just move forward with the delivery. Sometimes customers are saying, oh, we need this thing ASAP. Sorry, can you just send this out? And I guess like I've sent you the screenshots of the payments. And we're like, oh yeah, sure, like no problem. That hasn't been a good experience, by the way, and we're definitely never going to do that again. But yeah, that's how it was initially.
Oh wow. Okay. Very quickly, we actually launched a new product called Virtual Terminals that helps with that. Hello? I had no idea I was disconnected. I
Yes,
said it.
welcome,
Sorry.
welcome back,
I'm so
Nathan.
sorry. I was just like, Neff, will be right back. I was like, really? Sorry guys. I was saying that I'm sure many sellers on here can relate to what you're saying about being scammed when you're waiting for delivery confirmation. So Paystack has recently launched a new product called Virtual Terminals. It's obviously great if you have a physical store because it's right there. They can scan a QR code. There's a transfer number because we all know that everyone loves to pay with transfer right now. But even if you don't have one, it's great because 99.9% of all our transactions are confirmed within 8 seconds. So none of that, oh, I've sent it, check it 30 minutes, bank is wasting time. It's instant. So, hopefully no one's going to defraud you. Actually, I'm confident no one can defraud you if you have virtual terminals. So be sure to check that out. And yeah, okay. So speaking of Paystack and its products, Doyin, back to you. How did you come to use Paystack? At what point did you realize that you needed more than just Instagram to run your business?
So Nefe brought us on board. Hi, Nefe. And for me, I think it was an interesting idea at the time because honestly, we had just gotten to the point where we really, really needed it. The back and forth of conversing in the DMs, it was getting super exhausting. Customers would literally say, send me everything you have, or send me all the rings available in so size. And yeah, it was exhausting. So Nefe reached out to us and we are like, oh, okay, this actually exists. Okay, we don't have our own website at the moment. So this would actually take a lot of workload off us. So yeah, that was how we started using Paystack. I was a bit skeptical initially because I was like, people might not want to use it. People actually love talking in the DMs, but for us, it honestly wasn't sustainable. And I just thought, what, people are actually going to adjust. And yes, they definitely adjusted.
Amazing, thanks. For those who aren't sure, the product she's referring to is Paystack Storefront. A link will be shared shortly on how you can sign up. It's very easy if you don't have a website. You can put pictures of your products on there. People pay directly. You can add delivery details. That was when I first noticed how beautiful Shop Raina's pictures are. The attention to detail was incredible. But yeah, so are there any other tools or features like Paystack tools or features that you use besides storefronts, maybe the refund, like the little and big things that have just helped your business?
The refund feature has actually also really, really helped. So we don't have to do refunds via bank transfers, which honestly is so helpful. So refunds are just a click away on our Paystack dashboard. So yes, that actually has made things really easy for us. Also, Paystack has a discount code feature, and I mean, if you and I were talking about that a lot. So I think that also is an amazing feature. So yeah, these are some of the things. But obviously, our most utilized feature so far has been the storefront. Super amazing. That has actually really helped us a lot.
Amazing. How has Paystack helped with building your international customer base now?
Interesting question. So, I think that this culture of sending DMs to buy stuff is so Nigerian, and a lot of international customers don't actually want to do that. Like they literally just want to shop and be on their way. But I feel like Nigerians love the back and forth. They like to ask questions. I mean, some Nigerians, but we've also had people say, you know what, can I just shop on the Paystack storefront? So I think that in terms of avoiding that back and forth, definitely, Paystack has really helped us. So our customers are able to shop on the storefront. They don't have to have a conversation with us. They literally just put stuff in their cart, they check out, and they pay via Paystack, obviously. So yeah, that has really, really helped. And it's great that Paystack can also accept payments from like loads of countries. So
Amazing. Again, for those of you that are not aware, Paystack can enable international payments for you. You know that's one of the biggest struggles with online payments in the country is that accepting international cards just historically has had a very low success rate, and we've worked very hard to make sure we've mitigated for that to the best of our ability. We also launched Apple Pay recently, which we've seen help attract more international customers. So just keep that in mind. I know that everyone's goal is to sell beyond Nigeria usually and export like Nigerian products and services to the rest of the world. So that's something that Paystack can help you do. It's not just solving, payments within Nigeria. We're trying to fix it in the country, fix it in the continent, and obviously connect the continent to the rest of the world. So thank you for sharing that, Doyin. And speaking more about being able to attract international customer base, do you want to talk to us a little bit about what your monthly sales looked like and how storefronts helped impact your sales figures as you transition from Instagram to Paystack storefronts?
I would say definitely Paystack storefront has helped us to make more sales. So obviously when we're using just Instagram, we weren't able to cater to customers who would rather just shop and go. So obviously we were losing those customers, right? So but the moment we got on the storefront, we were able to retain those customers. They would make their purchases, and obviously it would help us to increase revenue monthly. So yes, that was a really, really good thing. So yeah. And I remember I had a conversation with Nefe as well, and you also mentioned that you'd rather just shop and go. So for customers like Nefe.
Yes, I'm definitely a shop and go person. Like communication is nice, but sometimes I'm just trying to get those rings and dip. And when you say retain customers, are you referring to the feature where on the Paystack dashboard where you have like your customer contacts, so maybe if you're having sales, you can reach out to them directly? Just to clarify, I don't want to assume on your behalf.
Oh, definitely. I mean, apart from yes, definitely we get contacts off of Paystack, even though we try to do that manually as well. But obviously for Paystack, it's nice to have everything in one place, all the details. I feel like sometimes we don't even need to, we're just able to keep information because we have everything on Paystack. And then even when we move those things to our own personal data thing, we are able to just, I mean, it's just easier, honestly. And it's also easier to communicate with customers when you have their email. Most times when people send you a DM, they're not going to give you their email. They'll probably just keep the question, oh, can I have your email? They will just skip and send you the address and the phone number. Keep it pushing, that's the end. Yeah, but with Paystack, you actually cannot check out without your email, so obviously. And we also want to be able to communicate with you, send you newsletters, all that stuff. So yeah, we love to have your contact.
Amazing. I feel like you just described me. I ignore the email request. Or I have a special email dedicated to like spam. And sometimes when people ask me for my contact, that's where I put it because I'm like, I don't know what you're sending me. But yeah, okay. Now let's move on to online sales. Obviously, we've talked about like your regular sales, but how do you promote online sales when you're having your very famous, very popular, very much looked for annual sales, or there's Black Friday coming up? What tips do you have for people? Let's talk a little bit about that.
We don't do Black Friday sales. I mean, I think we've probably done it once, and that was obviously also a sales strategy. But we usually do not. We have just one sale a year, and all our customers look forward to that particular sale, and the discounts are massive. So yeah, you actually don't want to miss that. And I think another way we boost sales is we do sponsored posts on Facebook. So Facebook ads, yes, and we also reach out to influencers. So there's a lot of influencer marketing going on in the background. So yeah, those are ways where we make sales, boost sales. Yeah.
Amazing. I'm curious, why don't you do Black Friday sales? Talk to me about that.
Honestly, honestly, for us, I think one sale a year is just fine. The margins need to make sense, quite frankly. And we really don't want to be doing a sale every time because we also have to run a profitable business, right? It's personally, I just don't think that it's a strategy that works for our business. But then by all means, if it works for you, yes, do it. But I feel like when we restrict our sales to once a year, people are actually looking forward to it, and when it finally happens, we make a lot of sales because they know that they're not getting another one until next year. So yes.
Yeah, it makes sense. It almost sounds like the annual Apple drop. It's like it's coming and you wait for it.
Exactly.
That's a really interesting strategy, and I know it will work differently for different people, but it's interesting to see that you found what works for you and you're sticking to it. And I think it's helped you build a loyal customer base, or you have a loyal customer base, which is why you can pull it off. So, just something for the audience to keep in mind is this is what works for Raina. Feel free to, try it out for yourself or go a different way. There's no one size fits all. You know your business best. Okay, that's fantastic. So we've talked a little bit about your transition from Instagram to storefront, your sales, both like the promo sales and your regular sales. How do you market your page, your storefronts? What specific strategies do you have? I know you talked a little bit about your Facebook ads for sales, but do you have other ways of maybe just driving traffic to the page just so people know it's there, even if you don't have an ongoing sale?
I would say one way we do that, apart from Facebook ads, is when we post things on our Insta stories, we always put a link that directs people to our Paystack Storefront. Exactly. So as opposed to just posting things on your Insta stories and just saying, oh, this is available, or like show them where to buy it. So there's a link right there. And also on Paystack Storefront, you can link the page for the exact product. So it's not like we're even sending them to the general storefronts. Like the moment you click it, you're going straight to the product and then you can buy from there. So I think that actually really helps.
I love that. That's helpful. I experienced that recently. I was trying to promote something and I just sent a general link and I got so much feedback being like, why am I being sent to a general site? Like I want the actual thing. And I was like, oh, that's important. So I actually had this conversation yesterday. So it's so interesting hearing this from you. Um, okay, I'm excited about the next question I'm about to ask because anytime I speak to business owners, you look nervous. Don't be nervous. Every time I speak to business owners, I just want us to talk a little bit about this. Like obviously positive love and light, but it's also good to talk about things that you've tried and have failed because that's only how we grow. So can you share with us any tactics that you've tried in the past that were unsuccessful and what the decision was like to pivot and try something else?
That's a good question, I think. Honestly, I'm not even going to try to pretend that everything we've done has worked because that would be a lie. Um, but I would say for us, it has been more of the products. So I think it's important to really know your customers, right? And know exactly what they love. And you cannot do that without data, obviously. Like, what are they buying the most of, right? So I feel like sometimes when we have tried to introduce a product that I felt, okay, you know what, I think this is going to do well, it actually hasn't done as well as I thought it would, you know. So I think for most, I've just realized that for Raina, honestly, I will never stop experimenting. But I think for Raina so far, people love pieces that just, pieces that are like OG Raina pieces, like
Oh,
classic statements, that's what the people love the most. So when we try to do dainty, it's like, yeah, we love it, but not as much. This isn't really Raina. So I think like sticking to the brand's DNA is definitely something that I would say is super important for me, running this brand. And maybe just try to not experiment so much with things that would usually not sell on a normal day. Right? So I would say stick to your brand's DNA, or honestly, if you want to experiment, fine, but it hasn't really worked for us. So far, it hasn't really worked for us. So I think we're just going to be sticking to the brand's DNA.
that's very interesting. Like you always try and experiment but stick to the DNA. So it's almost like a calculated risk, which is super interesting to make note of. Okay, wow. Sorry, I just love that piece of advice so much. It's making me rethink a lot of my life going on. I wanted to ask you a little bit about metrics. So I know I said I'm part of the business operations team, but I'm a finance guy or finance babe at heart. So I hear sales and I think numbers. And I'm curious to know what specific sales metrics do you use to track your performance, if you do, and why are those the numbers or the metrics that you focus on?
Um, I mean, you definitely should be measuring because that's the only way you can tell what's doing well and what isn't, what's working, what's not working. So I think for me, the first thing that I would look at is inventory turnover. Like, how fast is this piece selling? And if it's not selling as fast, why? Is it that people don't like it? Is the price too high? What exactly is going on? And we also have inner circle people, RAENNA girls, that we ask questions. What do you think about this piece? Would you buy this at this price? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? So I think that has really helped us. So the first way to measure for RAENNA would be inventory turnover. How fast is this selling? Right? I would say the second one would probably be customer reviews. As I said, customers is so important to us. Like, I can literally have a bad day because someone wasn't happy with their order, honestly. Like that's how important it is to me. So I think also tracking what our customers are saying about the brand per time, checking Twitter. People talk a lot on Twitter. Even things that they don't tell you, they actually post it on there. So sometimes we just like search shop Raina on Twitter. We want to know what people are saying. And then we also encourage people to give us feedback. Even if they don't just give us feedback, we're going to ask them, how do you feel about your pieces? Do you like them? Just ask them questions, let them talk to us. There's some people that we ask, oh, what would you prefer? That kind of thing. So I think that's also very important. And of course, conversion rate. People ask a lot of questions, right? And I think obviously before we moved to our own website, it was mostly Instagram and the storefront. People would ask questions, oh, hi, how much is this? What's the delivery? They would actually ask delivery price, so. Like there'll be a lot of conversation that happens, but then they don't actually buy. So we also want to check, why aren't these people buying? And the people that are buying, what has made them to take that step towards actually giving us their money. So yeah, I think for me, that would be top 3. But obviously now that we have a website, we can check a whole lot of stuff, beyond these 3 that I've mentioned. Nifty, I hope I've answered.
Amazing. Yeah, you have. That's super interesting. I was taking notes. I want to double click on something you just said though. You said you have basically your focus group of RAENNA Girls that you kind of reach out to. I don't not like who is in the group or what is that made up of? Because I feel like sometimes if you have people that are too close to you, it's not that they're not honest, but I feel like they're programmed to love everything you do. So how do you create that group in a way that you're getting like truly honest feedback?
I actually really love that question because I feel like there are times when we also think, okay, is this person qualified to be in this group now and stuff like that? And I would say that the people in this group have given us a lot of their money. So there's a very like they have been buying stuff from RAENNA for a long time, and I think beyond also buying from us, they're also very supportive of the brand. Like you can tell that they're actual lovers of the brand. They genuinely love what we do, right? And I think you can just tell the kind of people who just go above and beyond to support you. They talk about you on Instagram all the time. They tell everyone about you. They give you their money. And they also give you feedback in a way that shows that they're looking out for your brand. They're very honest. When something isn't so good, they're very honest about it. So I think, yes, these are the things that will determine if you'll be a member of our inner circle or not.
Amazing. I have a new life goal now.
Right.
I just realized, I know I was saying, oh, I'm one of those customers that just like wants to shop and go. But I remember when I wanted to get the ring, I wasn't sure what size. And you actually were like, oh, send me a picture of your hands. And then you recommended size. And when I got it, it was perfect. So, shout out to you for your very customized, not even just about being nice. It's like a very customized customer service that you have. And there was something you just said about people asking questions about, even the price of the delivery and everything that I wanted to just touch on very quickly. So the way I view businesses is that, you already have your product or service, which, like you said at the very beginning, that you're passionate about and you make sure it's of good quality. And, Paystack comes in to support you, to make it easier for you to get international businesses, to track your customer info, business product insights. Even one of the reasons why we have multiple payment options is so regardless of how anyone wants to pay you, they can pay you. So they're not limited to transfer. If Zenith is down that day, they can use their GT. Like they're just, loads of options. And I feel like the third piece of that puzzle is logistics and delivery. So I'm curious, how do you guys go about that? Because I know some days you even deliver things same day. So how have you I guess, cracked the logistics code if you have already? And if you haven't, like, what are some of the lessons that you've learned and the approaches you're taking to make sure that you have a good customer experience?
Okay. Well, thank you, Nefe, for mentioning our very helpful customer service. It's something that we're very passionate about. Just satisfying our customers, honestly, like making them happy. That is like one of our goals. And I would also say, like, generally, even me as a consumer, I just don't like unhelpful brands or unhelpful customer service. Like, it's like, are you trying to help me or not? And I think that part of this just satisfying your customers is also giving them top-notch delivery service. So imagine you order something today. You're actually not even asking for it to be delivered today, and someone just called you to say your delivery is here, especially if it's something that you really want. It's just so exciting, like you're like, oh my god, already, and you're just excited to on and all that stuff. So I wouldn't say that we have reached our full form in terms of like logistics. I think there's still a few things that we're working on. But within Lagos, we have like an in-house dispatch rider that does the deliveries. So I think it's easier to navigate like that, right? As opposed to like calling 1 million people, oh, hi, can you do my delivery today? I think it's best to just be in control of your own delivery service, really. If you can afford it, I think you definitely should do it.
Amazing, thank you. I'm curious to know, members of our audience, feel free to just pop it in the chat if you have your own in-house delivery person, or if you leverage a third party, and if you found that helpful or not. I'm getting a bit sad because we're getting towards the end. I'm just really enjoying this conversation. But what is, you jumped quite a few gems in the very short 38 minutes that we've been online. But what's the best advice that you can give to someone who's just starting to sell on Instagram and online in general? You said before that you want to like repeat for emphasis, or it can be something brand new.
Honestly, when I started Raina, I wish I knew some of the things that I know now. But yeah, we learn every day and all of that. But I think that if you can, honestly, just have a website. If you can, have a website from the get-go. Really, like, I think it's so helpful. It will save you a lot of stress. And I think if you're not there yet, Paystack Storefront is the best thing you can do for yourself. If you're not able to pay for a website yet, and it's free, honestly. And I think like in the beginning as well, I was very skeptical about giving that commission to Paystack. Sorry, Nefe. But then your customers can also pay for that, because I felt like, you know, it was just a bit, yeah. And they can also pay for that. So if you're not there yet, please, like if you're not there yet, you can use the Paystack Storefront. But if you're there and you can, honestly, just have a website. There are many platforms that you could use. You could even set it up yourself. You don't need like a developer to do anything for you. You can get something very simple, a nice template, and just do it, honestly. I wish I started with a website, but yeah, I honestly love the journey as well. So yeah, nothing spoil, I guess.
Amazing. Amazing, thanks. So basically from storefront to website onwards. But no, so storefront was honestly created to be simple. It's a no code, that's what we call it, like you were saying, when you don't need any developer input. So it's a no code solution for anyone who's just trying to sell things effectively. We don't expect people to stay on storefronts forever. We do expect it to obviously graduate to a website. It's almost just a stopgap till you get there. All we ask is that you integrate us on your website, which Shop Raina has done. It was spoiled in the chat, but I was building up to be like, they went from Instagram sales to storefronts, and now they have their very own website that they launched. It's been like, what, 3 weeks, 2 weeks?
Yes, about 3 weeks now. Oof.
Yeah, so talk to us about that.
Honestly, we were just ready to do that. Honestly, it was just time. I feel like, I feel like it has been time for quite some time, but like, yay, we finally did it. And it has been really exciting, kind of lie. I feel like it's just a whole new experience for our customers, and also like it's just nice for us as well as a brand, to be able to show off our products in that way. The website is slick, the pictures are amazing, the products are great. So yeah, it's really nice. And I think it also gives us the chance to really compete on an international level. I think that's honestly the greatest thing for me, right? So yes, I can now carry shoulder to a certain extent.
Amazing. Honestly, congratulations again on the website. If you
Thank
haven't
you.
seen it yet, check it out. Doyin, feel free to share the link on.
RAENNA.co is the place.
There we go. There we go. Raina.co. Check it out. And yeah, sorry, Usman has done a great job. So if you're on the chat as well, take a look. If your website is already being hosted on Shopify, WooCommerce, any of those, Paystack actually has plugins to them. And the link has been shared for how you can put those in. There are multiple ways to sell. And we're just there. We're here to help you every step of the way. So my final question to you before we move over to some of the questions in the chat, just a reminder, if you have any questions that you don't think have been answered yet, please put them in the questions tab. For those who weren't here at the beginning, it's on the lower bottom right of your screen. So, Doyin, my final question for you. What should we look forward to from Shop Raina in the future? You've made your announcements of your website. You've launched some new products. What else do we have to look forward to?
I will tell you, but it's a secret. But I know that we're going to do something exciting pretty soon. So please follow us on Instagram, sign up for our newsletters, so you can be the first to know. But if I don't think we'll also have that conversation, but something really exciting is coming to Raina. I think we're just ready to take that leap, expand, do more. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But please follow us on Instagram so you can be the first to know.
Okay, I'm gonna have a side conversation with you about that. And speaking of expansion, one of my roles is actually helping Paystack expand into new countries, and we help our businesses do that as well. So if you want to set up beyond Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Rwanda, Egypt, Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa, we're here for you. Paystack works beyond Nigeria, which apparently a lot of people don't know. So you've heard it now. We're in about 7 of the 54 African countries. But yeah, thank you so much, Doyin. Before we close out, let me just go check out some questions. What's the easiest way to... Okay, I'm going to put some of the questions on the screen. Will wearing Raina make me as beautiful as the owner? And this question was upvoted. So the people really want to know. Doyin, over to you.
Oh my days. Thank you, guys. This one is good, but yeah, I would say Raina also will help you to elevate that beauty for sure.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. But yeah, so Raina is a supporting act. I love it. Okay. I believe we've answered this question already. So Aya has asked, how do I drive sales on Instagram and TikTok? Doyin already mentioned, paying for Facebook ads, curating your page nicely. You can also send out emails to your customers, that are available on your Paystack dashboard. Doyin, is there anything else you want to add? Especially now that TikTok is on there. I don't believe you guys are on TikTok, are you?
We are on TikTok, but I honestly,
amazing.
yes, I just don't think we've cracked the code yet. Yes, we're still working on it. And yes, I think it's one of the things that we're also focusing on this month. Just really seeing how that works, because yeah, that's the big thing currently, apparently. Can you still hear me?
Okay. Yeah. We can hear you. We can hear you. Amazing. If you have any more questions, feel free to, loop them back and we'll come back to it. But I believe Doyin has answered that quite extensively. Okay, and we have one final question for now from Momurewa. What ways are applicable across boards to grow a community? I hope I'm not misspeaking, but I feel like this might have to do with your inner RAENNA Girls circle or your focus group, or maybe it's even like a community at large, because you said it, your customers are important to you and they're a lot more than people that you just take money from to grow your business. So do you just want to maybe reiterate some of the things you said before about how you feel growing a community works?
That's a very interesting question. I would say that honestly, so for example, something that we do, so I believe that to grow a community, there must be something that, you all had in common. There's just that common factor that brings all those people together. And for Raina, I would say it's fashion, it's beauty, right? And I think also the way we do things, so we just don't post, there's a way that we style the pieces, and I think people just really relate to that. For me, it's like, if you know, right? RAENNA Girls, they recognize. There was something on Instagram someone posted a few months ago about how she met someone I don't remember where. She met someone out somewhere, and she was wearing a necklace from Raina, and the person was wearing the same necklace. And she was like, "Oh my God, we're wearing the same necklace. Whoa, RAENNA Girls, we know good things, And I think that was just really funny, and it was just so heartwarming. You know what I mean? How people can bond and connect over jewelry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like really, you probably would not think jewelry will be the thing that will bring people together. But for Raina, that is doing it for us. People see themselves in the things that we post, in the things that we sell, in how we speak, in how we style. So yeah, I think that is I would say, to answer the question, find a common ground, really. What is it that you have to offer that you think that there are other people out there that would also relate, and be relatable. Relatable.
That is powerful. That is such a powerful ending. And that actually reminds me, earlier this year I was in Accra and I was wearing my Raina ring and I saw another girl wearing one and I was like, hey, Raina to the world. But yeah, so like Oyema said, if you know, you know. Okay, I'm gonna give it 10 more seconds for any additional questions. If not, we will be closing it there. But Doyin, thank you so much for your time. I'm so glad you did this. I personally have learned a lot from you about, just growing your business and how to boost online sales. I hope that a lot of people in the chat have as well. And, just wishing you and Raina all the very best. And looking forward to what you have in store in the future.
Thank you so much, Nefe. Thank you for having me. This was fun.